Welcome back for part 2 of our Model Magic Donuts project. So here we're going to add some of those decorations, like icing and sprinkles and things, using that extra clay from last class. So what I'm going to do here is just break it into 2 equal parts, roughly equal parts, and one half is going to be for the icing, and then the other half is going to be for sprinkles and other decorations like that. So I'm going to set those aside and start working on my frosting, or the icing on the donut. So we're going to do exactly the same process that we did last class with adding the marker ink and kneading it into the clay. And as you can see, what I'm doing first is kneading it to get it soft and workable and flexible. Then I'm going to roll it into a ball and flatten it out just like we did last class when we made our base. And I'm going to choose any color. I'm going to work with orange because that's just what I feel like working with. You might have a different idea of what color you want your icing to be, and that's fine. And we're just going to do exactly what we did last class, that method of adding the marker on top and folding it and building up layers of color inside that clay. And then you're going to knead it just like last time to get that color to mix. Now this will not take nearly as long because the clay that we're working with is much smaller than the clay that we started with when we did our base. So as you can see, I'm pretty much done mixing that color in. I'm happy with the way that that looks. So what I'm going to do now is press it into a slab, and I'm going to start stretching it at the edges with my fingers. I'm stretching and I'm kind of pulling at the edges because this is going to make it kind of look like that icing has just been applied and it's kind of spreading out all over that donut, making it look really delicious and yummy. So I'm going to press right down onto that icing, and as I'm pressing, I'm kind of pulling very slightly with my finger to again kind of give the impression that the icing is dripping and kind of melting onto that donut. Press, press, press. Like I said last time, Model Magic loves to stick to itself. So once you have it on there, it's really tough to get it off. And you really don't need to press very hard either. So once you have it on there, just a gentle push will be enough to get it to stick. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and start working on the other decorations. And I'm kneading it first to get it to be soft and flexible, and then I'm going to add the color on just like we did with the base and just like we did with the frosting. So we're doing a lot of the same steps. And I'm going to speed things up a little bit here. The yellow takes a little bit longer to get the color that I want, so I'm just going to have to do this a few more times. So I'm speeding through things a little bit. Already starting to change into that nice bright yellow color, but I want to push it a little bit more, so I'm just going to add more on there and repeat the same steps. Adding color, folding, and then kneading it. All right, starting to look the color that I would like. So now I'm going to roll it into a ball and then work it into a really long coil. So I think what I'm gonna do for this donut is add a spiral decoration using a coil on top of my donut. So I'm rolling out a really long, thin coil, and then I'm just going to wrap it around, place it right on there and gently press and push, and then wrap it around the donut to create a spiral decoration. This is just my idea. You might have a completely different idea of something that you'd like to do to decorate your donut, and that's fine. All right, so there we go. Gently press and push. Make sure that it is attached securely by just gently pushing and pressing with your finger. And then trying to think about what I'd like to do with the leftover clay that I have. So I think what I'm going to do here is create kind of what looks like a dollop of whipped cream, or maybe like a marshmallow or something like that. So I'm going to first knead it, make it nice and soft, and then roll it into kind of what looks like a teardrop shape or like a dollop of cream. And I'm doing that by just creating a ball of the clay and then rolling the top part. And let's see, that's looking a little bit too big for what I'd like, so I'm just going to tear off the top and try again. I think I'll curl it around this time to make it maybe look like a meringue. Really light, fluffy cream. There we go. All right, That looks better. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just gently press, and I'm going to put my finger underneath so I don't accidentally push a hole through my icing. And then I've got a little bit of leftover clay, so I'm going to add some sprinkles. Just rolling little tiny coils and gently pressing them on with my finger. Just going to tear little pieces off, roll the coils. You could even just tear little pieces right off and not even worry about rolling the coil. You could just place them right on, depending on, the type of decoration or type of sprinkle that you'd like. You can be as creative as you'd like with this. I didn't add color to this last little piece of clay just to save some time, but you could certainly add more color to your leftover clay if you would like. Once you finish your donut, if you have any leftover clay, please bring it over to me so that I can save it for other classes to be used at a later time. So I'm just going to continue working on these sprinkles. Oh, maybe one more. All right, I'm happy with the way that looks. Now, when you're all finished with your donut, you're going to place it back on the tray to find your name, just like last time. And if you're at home, just place it somewhere to dry.